get some more now on how the market's likely to open. Cameron Peacock joins us from IG Markets in Melbourne. Cameron, what's IG's call for the Aussie market open?
Yeah, good morning, Bridie. Look, after managing to eke out a 10-point gain or 0.2% rise last week, we look like starting this new week in more convincing fashion with the market called up about 40 points or around 1% around that 42.50 level. Now, Kate just stole my thunder, but she was pretty spot on. I mean, this week and the momentum that we're carrying into this week is all about expectations of further stimulus. Of course, Mario Draghi, the ECB president, last week came out and said that the ECB would do whatever was necessary to save the euro, and he said whatever the ECB did would be more than enough, and that sparked a bit of a rally towards the back end of last week. On Friday, during the US session, there was reports, a Bloomberg report suggesting that Mario Draghi had met with the president of the Bundesbank to discuss some of these issues. Pretty trivial, really. It's quite common that he does speak with central bank heads, but it's certainly raised the bar heading into this week's meeting. So the expectations are that we could possibly get a rate cut out of the ECB. Probably not so likely. Probably more likely is the resumption of their bond purchasing program under their S&P program, or another LTRO. But whatever it may be, it's certainly going to be a focal point this week. That decision we do get on Thursday night. Earlier on the Thursday morning, we do have the Fed's decision. There's obviously going to be a lot of speculation around what they're going to say heading into that meeting, and that's going to dominate talk over the first couple of days. Will we get more quantitative easing? Will they wait until mid-September, or will they do anything at all? So, I think those questions will be answered in due course, but the expectation of central bank action this week clearly behind the market's momentum. We did see the Dow Jones up 2% for the week, above 13,000 for the first time since I think late May. We had the S&P up 1.7% for the week, closing at 1385, and the Nasdaq up 1.2%. So a really strong week for global markets. We saw similar sort of gains across European markets, as well as the central bank decisions. We've also got some the key non-farm payrolls report next this coming Friday. Expectations are for gains of 100,000 new jobs, and we also have on Wednesday that all-important Chinese manufacturing PMI print. So a lot for investors to focus on this week. But looking ahead to today's session, we're certainly expecting it to be a bit of a risk-on day, following on from what we saw last week. We had a weaker US dollar on Friday night. We had higher commodity prices. BHP's called up 56 cents, or about 1.9% on the open. So I suspect again with those weaker, higher commodity prices rather, and we'll see some strong gains from the likes of your BHPs, your Rios, your Woodsides, pacing us into the week.
Just on BHP, because there have been these reports in the Australian today talking about the chance of BHP delaying a decision on its $30 billion expansion of the Olympic dam mine in South Australia. What do you think of this? I mean, is that at all likely to weigh on BHP's stock today, or you think that it will open higher?
Oh, I think it'll open higher today. The ADR, as I said, is pricing in a gain of about 1.9%, but that's coming on the back of the momentum of last week. I think in relation to BHP and Prominent Hill and so forth, it is, Olympic Dam rather. Those expectations of a delay have really been priced into the market for the last 3 or 4 months. Of course, BHP did come out, famously, I think late last year or early this year, saying that they were going to spend some $80 billion on capex over the next 5 years. Those expectations have been pared back with the falling commodity prices, and there has been speculation for some months that a lot of BHP's major projects would be postponed until later this year or early next year, until the economic environment is a little bit more certain.
Just looking at your call too for the Aussie market open, so you're calling a 42.50. Is that quite a key level as well to watch? I mean, if we can get through that, what are we on our way to 4,300 on the ASX 200, or am I getting a bit ahead of myself here?
Look, Bridie, I'm never one to place too much emphasis on levels. People talk about these levels, and if they don't meet them one day, they meet them the next day, or if they don't fall them below them one day, they fall below them the next day. I think obviously we want to see momentum in the market. If we can close above 42.50, I'm not sure. I'm not a technical analyst what that means. Psychologically, it's probably important, and if there's enough momentum in the market, we could push up to 4,300. But similarly, we often see the market, trade on rumour, and then when the facts and the data is released, we see a little bit of a pullback. So I'd be reluctant to say a move above 42.50 is going to take us up to 4,300, but it very well could do.
Thanks so much for that, Cam. We'll talk to you throughout the session.
Thanks, Bridie.
Cameron Peacock there from IG Markets.